how are you today? I'm so happy to see you. It's Friday, and I don't know about you, but it doesn't matter what's happening in the world for me to love Fridays. Fun fact, my very first birthday, the day I was born, fell on a Friday, so maybe that's why I like it so much. And I know another little person who's coming into the world today on a Friday, so that's what's making me happy today, is thinking about all the new things that are happening in the world that are good. We went on a walk early this morning. You could hear the birds singing and the flowers blooming. It's sunny here in Louisville today, which is so nice. That's new. It's never been March 20th, 2020 before, and I just think that's wonderful. So that's one thing that's making me happy today. The other thing that's making me happy today is deep breathing. Have been taking a lot of deep breaths today just to really stay connected to all the good things that are happening. And so that's been really nice today. And I hope you remember to go today, because that's been making me really happy. I love the book that we're going to read today. It's one of my very favorites. I remember my dad reading it to me when I was growing up, so that's a lot of fun. My mom and my dad read me lots of stories when I was growing up, so that's another nice memory for today. Anyway, are you ready for today's book? Are you? Okay, let's read. So today's book is Corduroy by Don Bremen. I just love Corduroy so very much, but let's go see what adventures he comes into, okay? Corduroy, story and pictures by Don Bremen. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Oh, he has. He's lost a button. Oh, I do like that big fluffy bunny there in the little girl's red coat. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Later that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf, began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Look, are you looking for a button? I don't see a button yet. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. Oh, I've climbed some mountains. They're pretty fun. They're nothing like an escalator, though, except they go up. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "Oh, this must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. I've always wanted to live in a room with a whole bunch of beds so I could just jump from one bed to the next. That would be really fun." I like that lamp. It's green like Corduroy's overalls. He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed," and he crawled up onto a large, thick mattress. At once he saw something small and round. "Oh, why, there's my button!" he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. I have a real quick question. Why do mattresses have buttons? If you know the answer, just let me know, because I think they should give this button to Corduroy. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a large floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Oh boy. Uh-oh, Corduroy. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going on his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. That's that moving mountain stair thing. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. It's Corduroy. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Poor Corduroy. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." Home! Corduroy gets to go home! "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Oh, look how happy she looks, and Corduroy looks happy too. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. The end. Hello, friends. That was a big deep breath, but it was also a sigh of happiness because Corduroy found a home and he found a friend. It's so nice to have you as a friend, and it's so nice to know that we're all tucked up safe at home. I do want to introduce you to somebody, though. This is my teddy bear from when I was a little girl. She had a lot of names when I was growing up. Sometimes her name was Teddy, sometimes her name was Teddy Sarah, sometimes her name was Teddy Elizabeth. Mostly her name was just Teddy, and she sits on my bookshelf now with all the books I've been reading to you, and I thought you might like to see her. From Teddy and I and Uncle Ben, who's back there, we're sending you a great big hug from wherever we are to wherever you are. Bye! See you tomorrow.